debates up and running. How long do we think this ibuprofen is going to take to kick in? Because, oh boy, do my back be hurting from carrying internet debates, you know? God, if only I didn't have to carry internet debates on my back. No, I'm just kidding. Ugh. By the way, this shirt came in, and I don't know what y'all are talking about. This shirt is great. Y'all are just haters. How many milligrams did I take? I don't know. I took 4 of them. So, 800. Heavy as the ground is crazy. Okay. Let's get it going. We are live here to debate. Shout out to Twitch chat. Shout out to YouTube chat. We got a couple of topics on the board. Let's go through those topics now. First topic, okay? Trans men and women are men and women, because duh. Second topic, gender affirming care for minors, because duh. Third topic is the Christian God is evil and not real, because duh. Fourth topic is MAGA and Trump are terrible. Fifth topic is pro-choice. And sixth topic is the right's hypocrisy after Kirk's death is an embarrassment. Those are our topics for today. If you feel like chatting, if you feel like calling in, the number is on screen. We are gonna chill. Do you still get calls for people to debate even if you're in stream? Yeah. People will see the number in like videos, and then, you know. Can we get an apostrophe on right's hypocrisy? Oh, after the S? No. Gotta leave that bad grammar, bro. You know? Gotta have terrible grammar. Also, remember, if you do want this shirt and you're subbed to me on Twitch, you get a 5% discount on my merch store. Just to keep that in mind. My God. I hope I'm not too tired for this today. But, you know. Let's get culinary. Yo, true. Only debates today. Please don't be calling to not debate. I'm going to ask you to call back another day. Hello, are you here to debate?
Hi, is this Jovan Bradley?
Yep.
Are you only looking for debates right now, or can you take a quick question?
Yeah, I'm just looking for debates at the moment.
Alrighty, well, never mind then. I hope you have a great day.
No problem. You too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, just want debates for now, and then if the debates slow up, then we'll look at opening the line for questions, comments, concerns. And if today seems like a slow day for debates, we will just go and play Democratic Socialism Simulator and see how that works. That's the plan. How can you wake up so early? I don't know. How can you sleep in so late? Oh my god, my back. Dem Sock Sim, which game is this? It's Dem Sock Simulator. I don't know what else to say. That's just the name of the game, you know? Ooh, there's a Tepig. You know, I do love getting me some starter Pokemons. Even if they're dumb and always firefighting. Why is it always firefighting? Can we please, on God, not get firefighting every time? Just a fucking a beg to not to fucking Game Freak to just not give me a firefighting for once in your goddamn life. Have I been checked for spinal stenosis? No, I've been checked for being sick as fuck. Wow. Harry, that was not an English sentence, so please rephrase that sentence in English and maybe we'll talk. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the English, Harry. Once that sentence is in English, maybe we can have a chat. If it's not your first language, I get it. So it can be a little tough to write a sentence in English. I need to catch 15 Pokemon, purify 2 Shadow Pokemon, defeat 3 Team Rocket
How can we
grunts.
score your friend code? Yovan pivot flip.
Oh, in Pokemon Go? You probably can't, TBH. Thoughts on Peanut Butter Captain Crunch? It's all right. I think they're scared. Yeah, what I've learned from doing debates, you know, oh, look, a spoink. What I've learned from doing debates is that conservatives tend to be very scared to actually like talk about their ideals. Amanda, thank you so much for the Venmo. Said, you're my favorite online debater. Thank you for your trans advocacy. As the wife of a trans woman, what you do matters. Is a terrifying reality for trans folks right now. I agree. Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for supporting the stream. Can we get W Amanda in the chat, everybody? But yeah, conservatives tend to be really afraid. And I think it's because most of them know deep down that they've not studied any of the things they talk about. Like they've not cracked open a book on any topic ever. Like they literally get the information from Newsmax and Fox News and all these other things. So they don't understand, like, I don't even think they would understand how to do research. Like, genuinely, I don't know that they would know. Ugh, a Trubbish. Ugh. Terrible Pokemon. What's a book? No, true. But like I could provide them with reading references after reading references after reading references. To them, it doesn't matter, right? If you aren't telling them third grade level information, they don't believe you, right? They need to have everything dumbed down to that level. I mean, these are the people who literally go up and go, college is a scam, right? Because they don't actually know what the purpose of like going to like a higher education institute is. Y'all are crazy saying Trubbish is a good Pokemon. He is literally trash. Favorite Gen starter set as a whole? It's Gen 1. Gen 1 has the best starters. They peaked. They peaked at Gen 1. They haven't been as good since. There have been good ones, don't get me wrong. But quite literally, it has not been as good as Gen 1. Your item bag is full. Get rid of items. Fuck you. Again, I think Gen 1 is peak. Gen 2 is great. Gen 3 is great. I even like Gen 4. I just don't think they've been as good since Gen 1. Gen 2 is not as good as Gen 1. Fucking Chikorita sucks. Chikorita, Bayleaf, and Magnesium, they're not good Pokemon. Jesus is king. I pray you learn about him. I guarantee you I know more about Jesus in the Bible than you do. I promise you. Promise. Gen 3 is better than Gen 1. No. It's close, but no cigar. Blaziken doesn't touch Charizard, like, at all. Oh, speaking of Charizard, my Charizard just died because I was not paying attention to this Team Rocket grunt battle. But catch me outside on that Bible knowledge. My favorite contradiction in Christianity is we all have free will. We all have free will, and everything goes according to God's plan. Then what's the free will? You're telling me that we can't do anything God doesn't want us to do? If everything goes according to God's plan, and we can't do anything God does not want us to do, then we don't have free will. That's a straw man. That's not a straw man. That's not even remotely close to a straw man. Do you know what a straw man is? God damn, Christians are dumb. Guys, free will exists, except, God did totally harden the Pharaoh's heart so the Pharaoh wouldn't let Moses' people go and then punished the Pharaoh and all the people of Egypt for not letting Moses' people go, even though Pharaoh probably would have let them go had God not come in and hardened his heart. But free will exists, but God totally hardened the hearts of the Canaanites so that they would fight against the Israelites and then all go down, Totally makes sense, right? Wow, so smart. Look at me, major intelligence. Christians have to cherry pick the Bible because the book doesn't make no goddamn sense if you don't cherry pick. If you just take the Bible at face value, the book doesn't make any fucking sense. None whatsoever. Hey, you have free will, but if you don't do what I say, I'm going to have the Israelites absolutely genocide your entire people, including the babies inside of the women's bellies. That's totally free will, guys. That's the most free will shit I've ever seen in my life. Hello? Damn, man, good luck in hell. It's okay. As long as I repented, like, literally on my deathbed, I'll be fine. As long as I accept God at the end, right? I'll be up there with Charles Manson and Adolf and all those other people that accepted Jesus into their hearts. Can't wait. Amazing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be chilling up in heaven with Dahmer. Yeah, amazing. Such a brilliant book, you know. You guys remember that part where God said, "Hey, don't eat this fruit. I don't want you to eat this fruit, but I'm gonna put a snake in here to tell you to eat the fruit, and then lie to you about what'll happen to you after you eat the fruit." You should have just known not to listen to that evil serpent, even though you didn't have any knowledge of good and evil, because I didn't teach it to you and didn't give you the fruit that contained the knowledge of good and evil. Whoo. Good old Jesus. Good old Jesus. It's not like the right actually listened to what Jesus actually said, you know, when he said, "Hey, make sure you're feeding the poor and giving water to the poor and housing the homeless and helping the immigrants." They don't listen to that part of what Jesus said because that would go against their entire belief system. If they did what Jesus actually wanted them to do, none of them would be on the right. But then you're going to hear people go, "But that's different. Jesus wasn't talking about the government helping people." You're right. Jesus would have said we should not pool our money and help the poor. Definitely something Jesus never claimed we should be doing. Absolutely. Jesus never once would have told us to pool our money together and help those less fortunate. Because why would he have, chat? That would just, that's not a Jesus thing ever. Why would Jesus want us to give all our money to the poor? It's definitely something that's never left his mouth. I've posted twice rebuttals. Was I wrong? What? I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand that sentence. Jesus didn't say, by the way, Jesus didn't say a man that doesn't work doesn't eat. Paul said that. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe open the book. I don't know. Also, Paul seeming very communist right there. A man who doesn't work doesn't eat. Sounds very much like to each according to their needs and from each according to their abilities. Crazy. Crazy. But no, I get it. I get it. Why study your own book, right? Why open up your own book, you know? Why do that? You know? It's not like it's an open book test. Name one leftist organization that opens the door. Food Not Bombs. Food Not Bombs. You not knowing the organizations don't mean they don't exist, stupid. Holy shit. There's one. One organization that provides free food is Food Not Bombs. They provide free food to the homeless. That's their entire job. That's the entire purpose of their organization, is to provide free food. So you wanted one, there's one. Now, fun fact, would you guys argue that Florida is Christian? Like their government probably operates on some like Christian morals? Well, here's the fun part about Florida. Food Not Bombs was operating outside of Orlando. And they were, one of their chapters was inside of Orlando. And they were providing free food in Orlando parks. So you could come and get a hot meal in Orlando parks. It was pretty nice. People could come, they could eat, and they wouldn't have to worry. Well, Florida said, well, we're going to pass a law because we don't like that you're doing this because we don't want to see homeless people in our parks. So we're going to pass a law that says in our parks, you can only give away free food twice a year. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like, well, what if just a bunch of different organizations all coordinated? No, guys. All organizations share those 2 times. So twice a year, you can give free food. Now, I'm fine if you're saying we shouldn't give food to the homeless if you're not claiming to be a Christian. But if you're claiming to be a Christian and then saying we should not feed the homeless, you're going directly against what Jesus Christ said. You are spitting in the face of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ quite literally said, you will go to hell. I hope you know this. If you're sitting here claiming to be a Christian and you say we should not feed the homeless, Jesus Christ said verbatim, you will go to hell. I just want you to be aware. Just want you to be aware of that. You will go to hell. And that's fine. Just be aware that you're going. That's all you need to do. Be aware that you're going. Holy shit. Someone just said, Jesus said, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. That's not a Jesus quote. You fucking moron. Jesus never said that, you idiot. Christians don't know their own book. This is what I'm talking about. Most Christians, okay, have never opened the Bible. They might keep a Bible around. They've never opened it. They've never read it. Yeah, for some reason, Nightbot is supposed to be banning it, or not banning, but putting people into timeout when they do that, and it just hasn't been. I don't know why not. Disable, enable, settings. Yeah, I don't know why Nightbot hasn't been doing its job. Maybe I have to replace it. How do you know? Did you talk to him? Jesus? I know because they wrote down his words. Matthew 25, bro. If you want to know what Jesus wants us to be doing while we're on this earth, Matthew 25 is the answer. Matthew 25 is the end all be all for what Jesus Christ wants. That's it. And nothing else matters. Because Matthew 25 is when he specifically gives rules that will get you into the kingdom of heaven or send you to the fiery lakes of hell. Anything else? Doesn't fucking matter. I hate to break it to you. Doesn't matter. You need Jesus, my friend. You need to actually read what Jesus says before coming to me. Should we read Matthew 25? Should we? Sure, let's read Matthew 25. We're going to go the best verse of all time, and that is verse 31 through 46. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. Jesus is going to be sitting on the throne, everybody. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right, good old sheep, and the goats on his left, good old goats. Now, just be aware, the Republicans are the goats. Everybody else is the sheep. Just keep that in mind. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. The sheep are inheriting their kingdom in heaven. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in? Lord, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you do for the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Whatever you did for the lowest person on society's ladder, you do for Jesus Christ. I don't even believe in the man, and I can recognize this. I don't even believe in the man, and I know this to be true. So whatever you do for the person on the lowest ring of the societal ladder, you do to Jesus. And because the sheep fed the homeless, housed people, visited the sick and the poor and the destitute, because they gave clothes, because they did all this, they have inherited the kingdom of heaven. Now you have the goats. And Jesus says to the goats, then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devils and his angels." Depart from me. You're going to eternal fire. If you're a goat, you're going to eternal fire. That's what's happening to you. The eternal fire is yours, where the devil and his angels are. For I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat. Damn, almost sounds like when Republicans defund SNAP programs, right? Or refuse to invest in school lunch programs. Damn. But I thought those people were hungry. Why are we not giving them something to eat? If those people were hungry, why not give them something to eat? Why defund programs that were feeding the hungry? So interesting. For I was thirsty and you gave me nothing to drink. Damn, kind of seems weird when we look at like Flint, Michigan, and a bunch of people were thirsty and thirsty and had no clean water because of Republican politicians not keeping their water clean. Just seems a little interesting. I don't know. I was a stranger and you did not invite me in. Well, we know about how Republicans feel about immigration. And I know that they're going to sit here and go, well, we want legal immigration. I don't know. Donald Trump removing 12 million people off of legal immigration status by refusing and cutting back on visas and green cards, things that were vetted and allowed people to enter legally, kind of seems like they're not letting in strangers. But yes, no. Tell me more about how I'm going to hell, sure. Hello, are you here to debate? Hello? 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 Okay. I needed clothes and you did not clothe me. Do we even need to go through that one? And finally, I was sick and in prison and you did not look after me. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yep, I am.
Okay, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
Beth, 38, and actually 39 now, and she, her.
Sorry, can you spell your name for me?
Beth.
Beth. Okay.
B-E-T-H.
Yep, you said you were 39.
Yep.
Okay. And what did you call in to debate about?
Gender affirming care for minors. Are you talking about like everything, or are you talking about? I guess I'm more on your side. I just want to make sure that you're not talking about like severe things for minors.
Well, I think medical care should be individualized. So whatever is needed by that individual and decided by their doctor, their team of doctors and therapists and counselors and parents, that's what they should be receiving. I don't make an assumption to say exactly or specifically what.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I think everything on your list is correct. I just wanted to make sure on that. I've never seen you before. I just came across you on Just Chatting, so.
Okay, no problem.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Someone in the chat asked, I'm just looking for debates right now. If we don't get any debates for a while, then maybe we'll move on to like other types of calls, but we're just looking for debates at the moment. So yeah, again, when it comes to Christians, they do not follow their own book, especially if they're Republicans. Again, and I'll say again, Matthew 25 clearly tells us sheep and goats. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yep.
Hello?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yeah, you here to debate?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
Name is Alex, 24, she, her.
Okay, Alex, what topic are you here to debate about?
Well, I am, either Charlie Kirk or just transgender issues. I am a transgender, woman, and, I voted for Donald Trump in 2018, 2020, and the Republicans in my district in 2018, and then 2020 and 2024.
Okay.
So either of those, but the Charlie Kirk thing is,
Okay, what about the Charlie
right now,
Kirk
I
thing?
guess. Well, you said that the rates of hypocrisy after his death is an embarrassment. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, the right sitting here claiming that they are like over moralizing the left, going the left are all monsters. They're celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. The right celebrates people's deaths all the time. The right doesn't actually give a shit about political violence the way they're claiming to. Days before Charlie Kirk died, the president made jokes about dropping bombs on Chicago. And like sending in the Department of War to go into Chicago. Like the right is full of hypocrites. They don't care about political violence, and they engage in more political violence than like any other side. So like, I think it's hypocrisy.
A lot of my experience is anecdotal because I live in right near a left-wing hotspot, but I mean, if you want to say that the left isn't celebrating the violence, you could look at the video.
Oh, I
from
think
his
plenty
death
of people
where
on the
you
left
can
are
see-
celebrating the violence. I'm saying the right doesn't give a shit about celebrating violence. They do it all the time. They're just being hypocrites.
Like when?
Again, they all retweeted and loved Donald Trump putting out a AI photo of him dropping napalm bombs on Chicago. This happened on September 6th, less than a week before Charlie Kirk was murdered. Right? They loved it.
Do you think that is a serious post? Do
Yes.
you think that Donald Trump has any
Yes,
intention
because
ever,
he quite literally did send troops into Chicago. He sent National Guard into Chicago. Yes. Now whether he's serious but also whether he's serious or not, do you think the president should be joking about bombing a US city?
I think Donald Trump is crass in a lot of ways. I think he's
I didn't ask if he was crass. I asked, do you think it's okay if a president jokes about bombing a US city? Is that an appropriate joke for a president to make?
I don't think jokes are a thing I should determine my opinion on things
Okay,
about
so then what does it
serious
matter
matters.
if people are joking about Kirk?
Because you guys seriously, not by you guys, I mean a lot of people on the left. I haven't never watched your show before this day, but a lot of people on the left wanted to, they want more of it to happen, and it's real violence. It's not jokes. That's the difference.
I'm sorry, do you think the right only engages in jokes?
Well,
a Democratic lawmaker and her husband were killed like 2 months ago. They were assassinated in their home. From a guy that had a hit list. Hold on. From a guy that had a hit list of Democratic lawmakers that he wanted to take out.
Do you have any other examples?
January 6th.
Because I'm familiar with that.
When an entire group of right-leaning people walked through the Capitol shouting, "Hang Mike Pence," beating up Capitol police officers, breaking into our Capitol. Yes, the right engages in political violence constantly. So the moralizing of the issue.
Would you say if you would like to equate the January 6th thing to riots, or to just it being like a riot for political violence, then what would you consider the Black Lives Matter activism?
I would consider it activism. Only 7% of all Black Lives Matter protests evolved into riots, and it was pretty much every time. Do you go to protests? I'm sorry. I'm going to finish my sentence. And pretty much every time it was found that the police were agitating the issue. And it wasn't actually the protesters that were starting the violence. And even if it was, I wouldn't call the BLM protests like a left or right issue, right? So the people who protested BLM weren't protesting a Democrat or Republicans. They weren't protesting on a side of Democrat or Republican, right? They weren't on a side of left versus right. They were on a side of police violence versus no police violence. I would assume the right also wants to limit police violence. If you're saying that they don't, and like if we're looking at the reasons for the actions here, and you're saying the right doesn't actually want to lower police violence, then I would just say there's evidence right there that the right wants violence.
I never said that the right doesn't want to lower police violence.
Okay, then I wouldn't call the BLM protests a left versus right issue. I would call it people that want police violence versus people that don't want police violence.
Do you go to these protests at all? Have you ever been to
plenty of protests? Yes.
So, and you think honestly that the police agitate these things?
Yes, all the time. We have evidence of it. Yes. We have literal evidence of police agitating it. Yes.
My experience has been so different personally. I mean, I have not researched for this. I'm not I don't have a ton of statistics, but in my area with being a leftist hotspot, I have to be a closeted conservative often. Because like when I was sitting in a bar yesterday, people are talking about Charlie Kirk and how they want people like that to be killed. And I've had people, especially people who don't know I'm trans, like if you can't see me in person, they just see me online with no profile picture. They, will generally just threaten me. They'll say I'm a Nazi, and they'll say that, I've been personally threatened by leftists constantly. And when I came out to the Republicans in my life, it was not the same experience at all. But I think generally everyone in the world they think they're the good guy in their own story. But this particular moment is such a divergence from that.
Yeah, so I'm not going to use my personal evidence. I'm going to use like the countless research and like studies put together that documented and collected verified police agitation, such as police infiltrating protest groups, such as verified, by the way. This might have happened. These are verified cases of police infiltrating protest groups, police
I
engaging
totally
in
know
ultra.
about all that. I'm
Okay,
not
so then
a supporter of
again,
police.
if I look at it, that the BLM protests, and I see that only 7% of all of those protests even erupted into violence, right? 7%. And then I see that at the violent protests, there was significant evidence of police agitation and police leading to increasing the violent rhetoric, then yeah, I'm not going to say that it was BLM protesters that were out seeking violence. However, what is seeking violence is a big group of people walking through to the Capitol on January 6th, literally shouting, "Hang Mike Pence."
Yeah, and I don't agree with that, but I'm sure that there's a lot of things.
Well, your
you
president
agree
agreed with it.
That,
the person you voted for agreed with it.
I don't have to agree with someone on everything to support them, but for me,
Well, you support
it's
somebody
about-
who advocates political violence. What could be more of an advocation for political violence than pardon? Wait, I'm sorry. What can be more in support? What can be more in support of advocating political violence than pardoning 1,500 people who walked through the streets shouting, "Hang Mike Pence"? That's direct support.
Well, if you want to go on that, then we will go through. We can go through thousands of leftist prosecutors that directly release Black Lives Matter protesters, which you say they aren't political, but
wait, you're talking about
one
prosecutors.
party-
You're talking about prosecutors. I don't give a shit what a
I'm talking
prosecutor
about
does.
every
It's a
single-
prosecutor's
okay,
job to get their clients
Well,
released.
if you
So
don't
like, I
give
don't
a
really
shit
care.
about prosecutors, and you
What does a
only
prosecutor
are gonna say
matter?
You care about the president that we can't. Talk
No,
for
if
4
we're
years.
going to talk about the moralizing of political violence, I'm going to be looking at the politicians who are in charge of the system.
Okay.
Right? How does
So,
a prosecutor
I'm talking-
even
let me
remotely
finish here.
come
You got-
close
you
to
talk-
Donald
you like
Trump?
to talk a lot here, and then
What?
don't let me talk a whole lot. So
Well,
let
yes,
me.
because
let
you
me
have to
get
say
a
stuff
little
that
thing
actually
here because-
like is relevant to the conversation.
Okay, let me say it then.
Great, go ahead.
Okay, so I started off by saying prosecutors because it's every level. It is the prosecutors, it's the mayors, it's judges, it is the Congress people. We could literally sit here and watch compilations of them saying, you need to get in their face, you need to make them unsafe.
Okay, show it to
They
me.
say hate speech is violence.
Great, show me. Give me somebody. Because I've given you like direct examples of what Trump has done. I can give you even more direct examples of other people. I can give you direct examples of Kirk promoting violence. I can give you direct examples of Nancy Mace making light of or promoting
Why don't
violence.
you find
I can give you
an
direct
example
examples of
Kirk
Marjorie
promoting violence, and we'll
Taylor
talk about
Greene.
that, and we'll find an example
Of Kirk
the-
promoting violence? Yeah. Literally every time that he fought for Israel's right to commit a genocide, that's him promoting violence. When somebody says, when he says on his podcast, hey, Palestinians throw gay people off buildings. Well, LOL, I guess they can't throw them off now because it's been flattened, right? That's a promotion of violence, right? That's making light of a violent act, even in especially
that not what you're doing
because
right
no,
now
it's not.
in Charlie Kirk's death?
Wait, again, I don't give a fuck about promoting violence. It's the right who's has the hypocrisy on this. I'm not sitting up here moralizing everything everybody says and going, the right shouldn't be saying these things. No, I don't care. It's the right who's going, the left is so bad because look at what they're doing. But there's the hypocrisy is the right has been doing it and will continue to do it. So I'm not going to lean into this both sides nonsense when it is all coming from the right. Political violence primarily comes from the right.
Okay. Like, I don't know if, obviously the algorithms of how social media works, we're just in two different whole worlds, but I see this stuff all the time. Like, to me, it seems patently absurd that you haven't seen Democrats calling for violence.
Great.
And it
Give
makes
me a
upset
predominant person on the Democratic side who has called for violence specifically. Give me that predominant person.
Joe Biden said that MAGA supporters are terrorists.
Okay.
I'm trying to. I can find the quote
How is
here.
that? Donald Trump says Antifa are terrorists. Donald Trump says Black Lives Matter are terrorists. What is this? How is this calling
Okay.
for? I wouldn't say that Donald Trump calling BLM
Antifa.
terrorists is calling for violence. What is what?
Antifa is a radical organization, and they are the
Antifa's
ones
not an
who
organization.
have
There is no centralized
that
organization
is
structure for
purposely
Antifa.
obtuse. That is purposely obtuse.
No, it's not. Antifa is not an organization. So try again.
That is no. I know people in it. It's a club. They're members.
No, it's not.
Like,
There is no centralized organization structure for Antifa. It doesn't exist.
Just because they don't have a leader doesn't mean it's not a group.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't have a leader. I'm saying there's no centralized organizational structure. There is no organization of Antifa.
They have ideas. They have ways of operation that they all follow. They all have uniforms that they like to dress in. They have protocols that they pass around. What is it?
Hey, can you show me where Joe Biden said that MAGA were terrorists? I would love to see, because when I look it up, I show that there is zero credible evidence that Joe Biden ever referred to MAGA people as terrorists. So do you have that evidence somewhere?
I watched him say it yesterday. I'm trying to find the clip again.
You watched him say it yesterday.
In a video from his State of the Union speech, I believe. Because I watched the speech when it happened live from their thing.
After January 6th, after January 6th, when they engaged in a terrorist insurrection?
Say the insurrectionists are terrorists. That is what I'm trying to differentiate here.
Insurrectionists are terrorists.
Because I am not an insurrectionist, okay? But I am. I do support MAGA.
Did you support January 6th?
No, I don't support January 6th.
But you support Donald Trump pardoning the January 6thers.
I think some people should have been pardoned because some people didn't commit crimes. But some people should stay in. Who
got pardoned that didn't commit crimes?
I couldn't tell you a single name of who got pardoned.
Okay, so you think that some people didn't commit crimes, but you can't tell me who those people were.
Because it is a building that is normally open to the public with public areas. And
not during official proceedings, it's not. Quite literally, there are rules for a reason.
Open the doors and there's a giant crowd coming in.
I'm sorry, police open the doors to avoid the crowds breaking through some of the doors. There are about 2 minutes of footage of police opening the doors, and there's like hundreds of minutes of footage of people destroying the building. Do you live in the same reality I live in, or?
Yes, I do. But
I don't think you do.
Understand that some people somewhere else on the property just walked in the door, and
but you can't name. But you can't name which. You can't tell me. You can't tell me which people did that, whether they got arrested, whether they were charged, and whether they got pardoned. You're just making assumptions.
Do you live in the same
I don't
reality
play the assumption
where you can watch the security camera footage of
I've watched hundreds of hours of footage from January 6th.
You cannot even say.
I've watched hundreds of hours of footage from January 6th.
Let me talk here for a second. If you watch,
you're not saying anything of substance.
Okay, well, it's maybe because you keep interrupting me, but
no, it's because you're quite literally not saying anything of substance.
Let me talk. Then.
Go ahead. I'll have a substance counter. We'll see how much substance comes in this conversation right here. Go ahead.
You got me up with the substance counter thing. Okay, so with all the footage you've watched, you think that there's not a single person there that didn't commit a crime, except for maybe a criminal trespass. Even though they might not have been told to leave. And they might not have broken any barriers. And you think that you can't even say that there's a single person, not one.
Okay, so that was nothing of substance. I think plenty of people there didn't commit a crime. That's why plenty of people there were not charged with crimes.
I don't know the names of them. It didn't happen.
Nope. Plenty of people who were there didn't commit crimes. Hence why there are plenty of people that were there that were not arrested and charged with crimes. You said specifically that you agree. Stop talking. No. You said specifically that there are some people that were pardoned that probably didn't commit a crime. Yet you can't provide me evidence of this. Show me the people that were pardoned that didn't commit a crime. Otherwise, don't say these things. I'm sorry that I'm going to hold you to the things you say.
I'm going to hold you to the things you say because you skipped over it. You still needed to provide an instance of Charlie Kirk actually advocating for real violence, not a joke.
I did.
You said you quoted.
I'm sorry. Can jokes not be an advocation of violence?
Jokes are not serious.
Jokes cannot be advocating for violence. So we can joke about pretty much anything we want, and that's not an advocation of violence. So if I come on this if I come on this site, just FYI, if I come on this site and I go knock knock, who's there? Bullets for all right-wing pundits. I didn't advocate for violence, right? That was just a joke.
It depends on your motive. If you really
so the joke depends on your motive. So when Charlie Kirk makes a joke about the bombings in Gaza, where children are being bombed and fucking limbs ripped from their fucking body, and the motive behind that joke is to show his support of the bombings in Gaza.
Then you could show the clip on the stream.
Oh, sure, I'll play it right now. I'll play it right now.
I'll
play it right now. I will literally play it right now. Like, he was fucking recorded saying all this shit. Be so for real.
Yeah, let's watch it. I have to pull up the stream again.
Like, this shit is crazy. Is it this one?
Let's say Hamas was like eradicated. What do you think should happen between both the communities in order to bring, I guess, peace between both of them and make things better?
Yeah, so just so everyone's clear, the reason why Gaza's under Hamas control is that there was a peace deal that was signed.
Even accept the premise of the other person talking. But if you want to...
I'm sorry. Debates are about rejecting the premise. Debates are quite literally about rejecting the premise the other person is talking about if the other person is not providing evidence for their premise. Yes, I'm not going to accept the things you say with zero evidence. That's not a debate.
Okay, well,
that's just a trust me, bro.
Wait for the Charlie Kirk thing.
Like,
we could watch it and go through it. But this is why I initially said I just want to talk about the transgender issues in Charlie Kirk, just because getting off on the trying to find random clips like Joe Biden or random
clips. The reason you don't want to talk about this is because you would have to recognize that Charlie Kirk says fucked up shit and advocates for violence sometimes. Well, he did. He doesn't anymore because he can't speak anymore.
Did you play the clip on the stream? Did I miss it?
I'm pulling it up.
I got you.
Let's see.
People keep saying in the chat that the video already played and I talked over it.
No, it was a different video, chat.
My main goal, or what I want to see, I don't want to be political, but in general, but I feel like, especially since I've been growing up, things have been heating up. Like it kind of felt like it was going this direction as I was going through high school, and I'm not a Charlie Kirk simp. I know he said stuff and didn't agree with about trans people, but a lot of the stuff that he said I don't think was, hateful, even if we didn't agree with it. And
what?
I
don't like when people go, I don't want things to be, everything is political. Literally everything is political. There's not a single thing on this planet that isn't political.
It's not that I don't want to be political like ever. Like in terms of right now, I think everyone has to be political just because, you're involved in politics or politics are involved in you. But we should have a world where people can just live their lives and not have to live in fear, basically. Like, why do I have to sit in public places and hear people talk about killing people like me? because it's not the experience I have as a trans woman.
Okay, that's great, I guess.
You just have earlier you were saying that the people talking about it were fine, and that, do you believe Charlie Kirk got what he deserved?
I don't care one way or another what happened to Kirk. I don't give a shit. I didn't like the man, so I don't care. If he's dead now, cool, I don't care. I didn't care when he was alive, I don't care that he's dead. I'm indifferent to Charlie Kirk in like every way you can be indifferent to another human being.
People are talking in the chat about the goalpost being moved, but I'm just trying to make conversation while we're trying to find this clip because we might be here for a little bit.
This is what sucks about somebody who's said thousands of things on the internet is trying to pull one fucking clip.
It doesn't have to be a particular clip, the one you're talking about. If you can't find that one, I don't want to nitpick about it. But if you can find something that just show me that he was hateful to trans people, because I think I've seen otherwise.
Show you that he was hateful to trans people.
Yeah, just show me a quote, because I've seen where he disagrees with it, but I haven't seen anything that tells me he hates me or that I should be scared of him or that he should have died.
I don't think fucking Brian has the clip you're looking for. Oh, for real? Where? Give me a second. Where are you, Brian? This is why we need you, chat. Brian, where's the clip? You can't put links in chat. Send it on Discord. Oh wait, are you on Discord? Just tell me. Tell me what to type in. What we got, Brian? You there? I'm not. It's on Instagram. Okay, can you tell me what to... Oh, just DM it to me on Instagram. There we go. And then does anybody have that clip where Kirk was like, we should deal with trans people the way they did in the 50s and 40s? Does anybody have that clip?
I think I have seen that. I think I've seen that. Like saying that they should be institutionalized.
Yeah, I mean, that seems sort of like hating trans people, doesn't it?
That's the worst one, for sure. But
do we need more than that? You need more than like that instance?
I would like to talk to him about it and try to get to a world where we can convince these people otherwise. Because what is the alternative?
Convince these people otherwise. Charlie Kirk couldn't be convinced of anything otherwise because Charlie Kirk made money off of his grift. What do you mean? Like, so nobody's convinced. Charlie Kirk doesn't change his mind. That's a whole key point about him. He was being invested in.
Exist in a world with these people.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. He was being invested in by multimillionaire conservatives. He couldn't change his mind. Charlie Kirk couldn't come out and say, "Hey, I think trans people are valid, and we should give them gender affirming care, and they should be allowed to live like us and like this and do all this and blah blah blah." He couldn't. Because his donors would pull their funding.
I could see that as a motive for sure, but he still gave people the space to come up and talk about it. Where, literally anyone was supposed to be able to come up and say it. And that literally giving you the platform. Maybe they clip farm it. Or
giving you the platform. What are you talking about?
Like... What would you rather them do if these people exist and they have these terrible opinions and you think they just can't be convinced otherwise? Do you not want them to put themselves out in the space where we can address them and talk about it? Or what?
What? What does that have to do with anything we're talking about? Like Charlie Kirk, we live in a country that has free speech. So people like Charlie Kirk are going to be able to build a platform and spew whatever they want, right? There's a reason why most of Kirk's conversations with college kids lasted 5 minutes. It's not because he wanted to move on and get as many people through. It's because he wanted to just farm sound bites. It's a lot easier to build a platform if you just farm sound bites off of college kids who might not be able to do as much. This is why he got really upset when he went to Cambridge and was like, well, it's not fair. They like prepared all this stuff against me, because he couldn't handle debates against like actual people who like did research and knew what they were talking about. What would I prefer to happen? I prefer people that espouse white supremacist talking points not do that. Right? I'd prefer people that espouse Zionist talking points not do that. Can I stop them? No. We have free speech, right? They can say whatever they want. I prefer they don't do those things, because all it does is it leads to further violence.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I agree. I just wish they wouldn't, but
well, but I don't think you do agree, because you emboldened them by voting for Trump. You're emboldening that behavior. You don't actually agree, right? Because if you agree that you don't want these things, why would you vote for the party that consistently espouses white supremacist ideology, consistently espouses Zionist ideology, consistently espouses anti-trans rhetoric, consistently, like Nancy Mace decided to say, well, I've never said a mean thing to my Democratic partners in office ever, when she's literally said slurs to trans representatives.
There are other reasons to vote for them than just voting down those lines, and I don't think that they're just outright transphobic or racist white supremacists, as you say. The trans stuff is always way more down the line, but they're definitely not white supremacists.
Charlie Kirk consistently espoused a lie that black people were better off in the 40s and 50s and had more wealth and were better off financially than they were now. This is a lie. This has no factual basis in any sort of reality by every metric, both wealth, wages, income, net worth. By all those metrics, black people are better off today than they were then. Why would he continue to espouse this lie if not to promote some sort of white supremacist ideal that black people should go back to the way we were in the 40s and 50s?
I can't speak to the 40s and 50s economics of different races, so I wouldn't know anything about it. But what I assume he's saying, I assume you are implying that he's bringing that up because you are saying he thinks they should be segregated.
I don't know if Charlie Kirk. I don't think Charlie Kirk truly believes in segregation. I think Charlie Kirk realized that he could get really famous on the internet if he espoused white supremacist talking points to college kids. And he could get a lot of college kids who are all butthurt that people get upset with white people from time to time, that he could get them on his side if he just said, no, guys, look, it's black people doing it to themselves. He espoused the 1350 myth constantly, even though any major crime experts, anybody that like studies criminology, anybody that studies economics will tell you that the 1350 myth is bogus, and it's an absolutely terrible correlation fallacy. Like, what would be the other reason for him to do this? He doesn't actually believe these things about black people. He was like super fucking close with Candace Owens, unless she was just one of the good ones. He sat here and said to people live on fucking air, we need to get rid of rap music. He said, get rid of it. It's not real music. It's not all this. It's not all that. He listened to it all the time. He listened to it constantly. He's a grifter.
You are attributing it to that he believes this stuff because he's racist. Why can't it be that he believes this stuff because he wants to change it, because he because he wants a better world for those people. Even if you say,
can you tell me
one thing?
Can you tell me one thing he espoused in this things that would lead to like a better world for all people? Like, what is one thing that Charlie Kirk said that, like, if we do this, it will lead to better outcomes?
Okay, so the 1350 statistic, if you take that and you say that, assuming that their statistics are true, if you take that and you say that it's because they're black, then obviously that is a racist white supremacist take. But there's obviously more factors into it than that. I'm sure Charlie would say it's because of fatherless households and
which is also a racist dog whistle, because when we look at fatherlessness amongst the black yes, it is. Again, I don't think you have enough information to talk about this. Fatherlessness in the black homes, the way that we calculate whether a parent is a single parent and the way that it's done via the statistics. So when Charlie Kirk says there's rampant fatherlessness in the black homes, the way we get that is we look at the U.S. Census. We look at how the census calculates whether somebody is a single mother or not. And the census calculates if you're a single mother on if you are married. Black couples get married less than white couples.
You're going to say black people don't get married. But
no, black couples get married statistically less than white couples.
Fatherless homes is a problem across the board because
it's not about fatherless homes, it's about poverty. And this is why when we adjust for poverty,
fatherless homes create
this is
poverty.
Why no they don't. They're a byproduct. And when we adjust,
you cannot say that it is a byproduct. Okay, sure.
So when we adjust for poverty, we actually see that the outcomes amongst parenthood, both single parents or not, starts to even out. And it's not about fatherlessness, it's about single parents, because single parents typically have one set of income or they lack childcare, which are the two things that help in the instance of positive child outcomes, which are either two incomes or one income and consistent childcare. Because when we look at
that last part exactly the point then?
No, it's not. His point is Charlie's point is families need a mother and a father to have positive outcomes. Charlie's point is not that single families are bad. His point was that you needed a mother and a father because he believes in the Christian nuclear family and he thinks any other type of familial outcome will lead to worse outcomes.
Yeah, I know he believes in that. It's just stuff. That's another point we'd have to disagree with him on and just try to advocate our side to him.
Advocate our
I
side
can't really
to
speak any further
again.
about that.
What do you think is going to happen? Plenty of people have went up and told Charlie Kirk he's wrong about these things. He doesn't change. So what are we going to keep? What would we keep doing?
In this generation?
So then what should we so then you tell me what should happen. The right in America.
You know what I think should happen.
I'm not making you're the one who props up the right. I don't. Right?
I'm not propping up the right. I'm saying
you voted for them. That is propping up the right. You voted for them. Well, what do you mean?
Earlier you were talking big about political violence and saying that the right perpetrates it when Charlie just wanted to have a conversation about his ideas about the home. If you don't agree with them, or
no, he didn't. He wanted to quite literally lie about statistics in order to indoctrinate people to his side. He's not just talking about his opinion when he's quoting statistics that are incorrect. That's not just I have an opinion. That's quite literally misleading people.
Okay, it's so hard because on each side of the political spectrum, people assume just the worst. Like, everyone assumes the other side's statistics are wrong. Like, we can go through here and I could try to say, pull up a thing where statistics are wrong, and we could sit here for 4 hours while we try to find it, and, nothing will ever come of that. But the political discourse right now, particularly on the left, and I don't see it from right-wing politicians in the same way. If you say that dropping napalm is an
I gave you so many examples. I gave you so many examples.
You said that Trump dropped...
That's not the only example I gave you.
Trump dropping napalm.
That's not the only example I gave you. Great. Let's go through. We can go through a long list of examples of right-leaning people advocating for, making light of, or continuing.
You gave me so many.
Yes,
right
I gave
now,
you Trump. I gave you Nancy Mace. I can give you more. I gave you Kirk. I can give you more.
Nancy Mace one, I apologize, but
I can give you more.
I don't believe Kirk advocated for violence at all.
I've given you. You don't think that him saying that we should go back to the 50s and 60s way of dealing with trans people is him advocating for violence?
They believe it's a medical procedure, like.
What when he says let's go back to the way it was in the 50s and 60s, what does he mean?
Like probably either have what are they called? The asylums or whatever, probably.
He's talking about lobotomizing people.
No, absolutely not.
That's the main way we dealt with mental health issues in the 50s and 60s. It was lobotomies.
It was not the main way. I believe there's like 60,000 lobotomies in North America in that time period. That's not the main way we dealt with. That's so disingenuous. Google the number. How many lobotomies happen in North America? It's the main way. And then you attribute that to Charlie Kirk. Say he wants to. No, there's no way Charlie Kirk wanted to lobotomize trans people.
I'm sorry. So you just think he means I just want to institutionalize all trans people, and that's better.
Yeah, it's not good, but you're.
Is that calling for violence? Is forced institutionalizing people a level of violence?
It is, but I mean the left.
Okay, so Kirk advocated for violence. So then you agree with me that Charlie Kirk advocated for violence. If he advocated for forced institutionalization, and you agree that forced institutionalization is violence, then you agree with me that Charlie Kirk advocated for violence.
The institutions can release you, though. That's the difference. We can't.
Is forced institutionalization violence? Yes or no?
It's so complicated. It's not a yes or no question because sometimes it is necessary. That's why it's not.
Fucking goodbye. Listen, dude, I don't care if the right advocates violence. I don't care if the left advocates violence. I want you people to stop being fucking hypocrites about it. Don't sit here and go, oh, it's all the left. The left. Oh my God, it's the left. When the right does the same shit, bro. It's so annoying. Oh, did I find it?
That, hey, if you as a gay person would go to Gaza, they'd throw you off of tall buildings, right? Now they don't have any tall buildings left, so I don't...
When you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Is that too soon? I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't kill Jews, stupid Muslims.
That's not normalizing violence? That's not? Okay. Sure. Sure, guys. Definitely not. You're right. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? This totally... So stupid. Who cares about Gaza? I don't know. The fucking thousands of children that are being starved and killed. Maybe they care. I don't know. Maybe I'm the you're right. I shouldn't care. We shouldn't care about kids. You're right. Fuck them kids. Hello, are you here to debate?
I am, yeah.
Okay, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
It's actually Ryan again, so 23, he, him.
Okay, Ryan. What are you calling to talk about today?
So you took capitalism off of the board, but last week we had a discussion about the morality of landlords. I was hoping we could continue that because I feel like we didn't really get to finish our conversation.
Sure. Ryan, send me a message on Instagram. We will plan out a time where we can sit down for and I'll give you an entire hour just dedicated to Ryan. And then we don't got to play phone tag every week. How does that sound?
I don't have Instagram. Do you have an email?
Yeah, business at joevonbradley.com.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna write it down. I feel very special, Jovan. You said it's business at joevonbradley.com?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll plan out an entire stream just for you.
All right. I guess I'll shoot you over an email and we'll schedule something.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Goodbye.
Ryan calls him once a week. I think Ryan can change, truthfully. Hello, are you here to debate?
No, I just want to say one of the points you had that I thought was really great, that I think a lot of people didn't really understand when you were talking about with the last caller about Kirk, is that he really can't change his mind because of the people funding him. I thought that was just great. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, no problem.
Have a great day.
You too. By the way, I didn't thank the people that paid to boot that guest. So shout out to Not the Illuminati and Zach K. Thank you guys for the tips over on YouTube, the super chats. Hello, are you here to debate?
Hey, yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Okay, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
Let's see. My name is Aiden. My age is 17.
Sorry, you gotta be 18 to call in. Sorry, gotta be 18. Rule of law. Well, rule of Jovan's stream. Yeah, I think when Charlie Kirk laughs about an area that's being destroyed and makes an insinuation that it's because Muslims are killing Jews, which is not fucking accurate in the understanding of the fucking Gaza genocide. That is normalizing violence. That is promoting violence. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, sir. How are you, brother?
Chillin'. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns, please?
My name is Matt. I am 38. My pronouns are Charlie Kirk.
Okay, you use neo-pronouns?
I'm sorry?
I said you use neo-pronouns. It's very progressive of you.
Very. Thank you. I thought I'd just go ahead. Everybody else seems to pick their pronouns, and they seem to pick things that don't really make sense, so I feel this one does make sense. So,
okay. I mean, whatever floats your boat, dog. What are you calling to debate about?
Just you keep saying Charlie Kirk's full of hate, and it's like
I didn't say Charlie Kirk was full of hate.
I don't see the hate. You played a clip where he made a joke about people who throw gay people off buildings and that they don't have buildings to throw gay people off anymore. And
yes,
you find
Palestine,
that hatred.
Palestine
he's
and Gaza
supporting the gay people there.
Gaza specifically wasn't throwing gay people off of buildings. So,
really, I've watched a news article. I can't remember where it was, a couple years ago when this whole thing started. But there's literally a gay guy from Palestine that says yes, they do.
Yep, there are also a lot of gay people in Palestine who say no, they don't. So cool.
But are those people who are gay? Are they out in the open in the street?
Yes. Well, not anymore because Israel bombed the shit out of their streets.
Well, I mean, they still have streets. They're still paths somewhat. they might have other more important things to worry about than the gay, which is good. They're coming together and working together to defeat the ideology that has affected them, to support a terrorist organization like Hamas that for 20 years Israel has not been occupying Gaza, not Palestine. And then they just attack out of nowhere. It's like
that is functionally
we
untrue.
had a two-state solution, and
Israel has had
a government.
Israel has had Gaza. Israel has had Gaza in an open-air prison for like fucking what, 40 years at this point? What are you talking about?
They pulled out in 2002.
No, they didn't.
What do you mean they didn't?
I mean exactly what I said. They did not. Israel still controlled Gaza's water supplies. They still controlled most of the trade that went in and out of Gaza. They still controlled internet in and out of Gaza. They still controlled electricity in and out of Gaza. You could say, well, they pulled out in 2002. Well, then how did they shut their internet off in like 2010? How did they shut their electricity off in like 2006 if they pulled out in 2002?
Well, if that's true, I truly don't believe that what Israel is doing is helping it. I am a weird individual here. I don't necessarily line up with everything people on my side says, but I have to pick a side that I'm more aligned with. But I don't believe Israel gets to kick down Gaza's door and say it's self-defense.
Charlie Kirk did. He advocated.
That's okay. Do you agree with every person that you support, with everything that anybody ever said?
No, but if somebody agrees with a genocide, then I don't listen to them anymore. I don't support that person anymore.
A genocide? What is a genocide? So, well, I know what a genocide is, but how are you seeing as genocide? Like they've gotten rid of every Gazan? There's no more Gazans out here?
Genocide isn't just when you get rid of every single person of a group. That's not all genocide is.
Okay,
genocide is the specific. Genocide is a specific.
Genocide was the destruction of a certain group of people.
Genocide is a specific targeting using killings or violent measures of a specific group. If you target a specific group and you're killing people from that specific group indiscriminately, right? Just because they are part of that group, that is a genocide.
Oh, so like when Charlie Kirk got shot because of his beliefs, then that is a genocide against Christians that has just started.
No. Charlie Kirk wasn't shot because he's Christian.
It seems like it's fitting. He got targeted for his political beliefs.
I know that you want to move the conversation from the genocide. That's fine. We can. But Charlie Kirk was not shot because he was Christian. There were other Christians in the crowd.
No,
why did they go home safe?
He was good at articulating his words, and more people were coming along with him.
Charlie Kirk
was
terrible at debating. Charlie Kirk was actually terrible at debating. Yes. He was a terrible debater.
How do you... Oh man. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. What else you got?
Why are we moving on? Let's keep talking about it. Charlie Kirk was a terrible debater. Do you want evidence? Do you want me to support that claim? Because I will.
Well, it took you forever to pull up one clip. I mean,
wow. Oh my God. Sorry that it took me a while to pull up a clip of a guy that talked for fucking thousands of hours a fucking day, a year, whatever we want to say. Wow. Holy shit. My bad. Did he still say it? Yes. Okay. What does it matter the length of time it took me to pull it up?
The length of time it took you to pull up because you were cherry picking one fucking off-color
cherry picking. I was asked. Wait, whoa. He's not in support of it. He was not. Again, there's no credible. There is zero credible evidence that gay people have been thrown off of buildings in Gaza. Zero. They don't. It doesn't exist. Doesn't. Sorry.
I remember seeing a photo of a gay guy
I don't care what you've seen. I'm saying there's zero credible evidence that gay people were thrown off of buildings in Gaza. So when he's joking about gay people being thrown off of buildings, one, he's lying. The joke is not even based in reality. Second, I'm not cherry picking. I was asked for a specific thing that he said. So I pulled up a specific thing that he said. It's not cherry picking when I'm asked to do that. That's not cherry picking.
I back off that. You were asked to throw the one specific thing, and it took forever to find the one specific thing. I'm sorry that's not the issue.
Great.
The thing is, when you got one clip, and he made an off-color comment, but so you don't support Biden because he said put a Trump on?
No, I don't support Biden. No, I've never fucking liked Biden. Like what? I wanted Biden out of office when Biden got into office. I didn't want Biden in office to begin with.
Okay, brother, I think you and I can agree on more. I've been watching your stuff for a while, and yeah, you know how we're all stuck in our own beliefs, right? I do appreciate, because I see what you're doing is much like Charlie Kirk did. You're opening dialogue, and you allow people to speak. And now I've seen some guys that you kind of talk over, but you're not doing it to me, and I really do appreciate that. Some of the people you get in are crazies, and Charlie Kirk was a very good articulate of his beliefs and his opinions. Not everybody is able to do that. It doesn't mean they're wrong on their opinions and beliefs.
Yes, opinions can be wrong.
Okay, so, I agree, yeah. Yeah, opinions can be wrong.
Charlie Kirk was openly wrong about multiple of his opinions. And now, I don't think Charlie Kirk was... Yes, he was openly wrong about things that he believed.
Based off of what?
Based off of, evidence. So when Charlie Kirk openly says black people financially were better off in the 40s and 50s, this is untrue. Now, either one of two things exist in this time frame. Either Charlie Kirk was too stupid to look this up, and he continued to believe something that wasn't true, which I don't think Kirk was stupid, or he was intentionally lying. That's the only thing, because it is untrue that black people are better off financially in the 40s and 50s. It's untrue. Wages, black people's...
When you add into inflation and everything,
yes.
Is that really true?
Yes.
Inflation kind of confuses a lot of people. Yeah, we make more money today than ever, but
when accounting for inflation, black people's wages are higher than they were. Black people's net worth is higher than it was. Black people's wealth is higher than it was. Employment numbers are higher than they were. Yes.
I agree with employment numbers.
So it is functionally untrue when Charlie Kirk said the phrase, black people were better off financially in the 40s and 50s. So either he was too dumb to look up this stat, in which case I'd say someone that goes in front of thousands of people and parrots a statistic that they've never looked up, that is a dumb thing to do. So either he was dumb or he was lying. Only one of those two things can be true.
Or maybe he could see something else, that black people probably were just like white people were better off back in the day. Have you not looked at our society of how destructive and gross that both sides are?
In every
Republicans
metric,
and Democrats, I think it's pretty well uniparty anymore.
In every metric, financially, people on average are better off today than they were in the 40s and 50s. In every metric.
Does financial stability equate to happiness?
It doesn't matter. He was specifically talking about financially. Wouldn't matter. He wasn't saying that they were happy. No, he was specifically talking financially. Matt, he was very specifically talking financially.
But, yes, I get that. That was very specific financially, but it's all encompassing thing. Just because you make more money doesn't mean you're in a better spot. Correct?
Sure, but he wasn't making the claim that they were better back then because they were happier. He was saying that back then they made more money and they had more access to wealth, therefore they were better off. When this is not the case, it is an untrue statistic. There's no evidence for it anywhere.
Okay, what was the no evidence black people were happier or better? What was
his specific
do you not think
claim
anything about the black fathers not being in the house has anything to do with some of the problems we see in black culture? And I don't even mean to say black culture, because God knows it's in the white culture too.
Fathers being out of the home is a dog whistle. It's a dog whistle.
Explain.
Well, one, we've done studies on this, and we've shown that black fathers are more likely to be in their children's lives, whether living with them or not. They are more likely to be involved in their children's lives. Secondly, when we look at numbers for fatherless homes and we're looking at single mother rates, we're looking at unmarried statistics. The way that it's calculated about whether a home is considered fatherless is if the mother and father are not married, because then she's counted as a single mother, whether they cohabitate or not. She's counted as a single mother, which adds to the fatherless rate. It's a junk statistic.
That's interesting. I like that point. That makes absolute sense.
And again, just to hold on, just to finish. Wait.
A high father rate, and then now it's such a low father rate. Is it just
even the U.S.
purely because of marriage? Like
even the U.S. government. Even the U.S. government admits that part of the issue with fathers being taken out of black homes is because of the war on drugs, which Charlie Kirk said he liked, by the way, even though both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrats, have demolished the war on drugs and as an abject failure. Charlie Kirk said he likes it.
I do too. But Kirk's allowed to have his opinions, and if he believes that the drugs and fatherless homes are a big part of the problem, then he's entitled to his opinion. He talked a lot about the black community, but I'm pretty sure he says this is a whole societal issue.
No,
people bring up specifically black communities to him, and he talks about it.
He specifically talks about a culture issue. Well, talked about a culture issue. Charlie Kirk said time and time again that there was a culture issue within the black community.
I'm pretty sure he says there's a culture issue in the white community too, bro.
Okay. So I'm going to reject that issues that derive from poverty are culture issues to begin with. Issues that derive from poverty are systemic issues. They are issues that exist because we live in a system that prioritizes the wealthy over the poor. And we've seen that when really poor areas, when really poor areas have access.
The rich rule is over
Hold on. I'm not done. We see that when really poor areas get access to resources, their quality of life, their statistics on like any metric we want to look at, they get better.
What study are you referring to?
I can quote a million to you. There's a study done There's a study done, I think it was out of Colorado, where they took a bunch of homeless people and just gave them UBI. They said, what will happen if we just give them universal basic income? And they found the quality of life of like literally all of them got better. Like just unabashedly got better. I think it was, they saw a 70% decrease in homelessness.
My life will get better too.
But that's what I'm talking about. It's not an issue with the culture.
How long did the study go, and how long did they last? Because I have a feeling that a lot of the homeless problem that we have is financial illiteracy, the inability to manage one's own money, and that you gave these people a bunch of money, but did they actually change their life, or whenever the money dried up, did they go back to being homeless? Like,
a large portion of them were working by the end of the study. They were able to secure jobs because they weren't worried about where their next meal was coming from, or they weren't worried about where they could lay their head at night because they were able to secure housing.
Dude, I really like that. I wish it was more widespread that that's actually a thing.
And if we want to look at homelessness, like the top cause for homelessness in the U.S. is job loss. It's people who lose their jobs.
Well, yeah,
so they no longer have money.
People do stupid things that don't align up with the company's values, and they lose their job. Like that's.
Do you think companies don't just like lay people off?
Nobody is guaranteed a job here. Nobody's guaranteed a job in this world. It is your job to go out and make yourself valuable.
You think companies don't just like lay people off all the time?
Yeah, that's why I said nobody is owed a job. You must work to demand respect and have a job. You think just anybody's entitled to a job, and then where does that start? Like, I have no flying experience, but I'm entitled to a job, so let me be a pilot. I've done nothing in my life to further my skill set or even learn anything about planes, but I want to be a pilot. You owe that to me.
Okay. When we talk about what helps people, and we talk about like how we correct things, you're not we're not talking anything culturally, right? What should people who lose their jobs do if they physically can't find another job? If they're interviewing, if they're going out every day and they don't find another job, what do these people do? There's not a culture issue with why they're poor and impoverished.
You're asking
homeless.
a very, very limited in scope question. What should people do? Well, first question I'd be like, well, why'd you lose your job? Were you not being very productive at work? They had a downside and they kept some people, they didn't keep others. So were you one of the better people at work and then you got fired? I doubt that. Were you maybe the guy who called in a couple times a month and said, I'm sick, and then you got fired and like, I don't have much, you need to get your act together. You just want to paint everybody who's lost a job as this one kind of person, but there's thousands, if not millions of reasons why people lose their jobs.
Okay. What's happening here is I'm talking about the marketed nuance between poverty and between outcomes. And that when it comes to outcomes, there is a large linking in poverty, and that this conversation is widely varied and nuanced. Charlie Kirk doesn't believe there's any nuance. Charlie Kirk, which is what we're talking about, is Kirk's opinion on these, believed that it came from cultural issues. There's no nuance here. Charlie Kirk doesn't think people are poor because capitalism keeps people poor because it needs a poor working class in order to fuel a wealthy above class.
They make poor decisions.
Have you ever been poor?
Like, what do you mean poor? Can you define what's the price range for poor? Because I've ate ramen noodles for dinner for weeks and months on end. Does that count me as poor?
You just used the word, so I assume you have a qualifier because you use the word.
Poor to me is people who have a poor attitude. People who look at the world and think that the world's the problem, not them. Poor is an attitude. Just like you can find people living out on the streets that are happy. They don't consider themselves poor. Poor is the mindset.
Okay. Let me be more specific. I'm talking specifically about poverty.
Power on.
So not a mindset, but poverty. Someone being impoverished.
That's okay. There's people who live a good, full life in poverty. You were saying poverty is some determining factor of something, and I don't really think it is much.
Poverty.
We get education. If there's a problem, it's within the education system. I think you and I both agree with that. That what lifts people out of poverty is good education.
Do you know what gets people better educations?
Better teachers who are less interested in indoctrinating kids into thought.
Higher wealth, actually.
Science.
Let's higher. It's actually higher wealth, my guy.
Okay? Higher wealth. Okay, so what you want to do is just give people more wealth, and you think that's so. How do you get the wealth?
Okay.
You just give people.
If I'm a kid,
and then
I'm
now they're
born,
wealthy,
if I'm a kid, and I'm born into a neighborhood with super low wealth, like this neighborhood just has low wealth to begin with, and then I have a kid who's born into a neighborhood with super high wealth. Okay, which of these kids is going to go to a better school?
Which of the kids will? That is, I agree with that. Yes, that's if we're going to start attacking poverty, it starts at education. But education starts in the home, not at school.
No, actually, because if I have a kid who's born in a neighborhood with low wealth,
talk at home. Your kids are talking before they go to school, right? Which
if
means
I have a kid who's born with low wealth, is it likely that this child is going to have access to the same educational resources as someone who's born to a family of high wealth?
Are you saying somebody in poverty doesn't have a phone and access to the internet? Because
I said exactly what I said. Which of these children will have better access to educational resources? The one who comes from a low wealth background or the one who comes from a high wealth background? Who is more likely to have access to better educational resources? If I have a family that's living paycheck to paycheck and they spend most of their money on food because they don't have a lot of disposable income, they might have zero, most Americans can't afford a surprise $500 bill, so they don't have the access. But I have this other family, they can buy their kids flashcards, they can buy their kids workbooks, they can hire private tutors, they can send their kids to like preschool, they can send their kids to daycares that like also do education. Which of these children is going to have access typically to better educational resources?
Typically, people with money have more access to everything, dude. That's how the world has worked, is worked, and will work.
So if
you're fighting to bring down the top people instead of fighting to bring up the lower people.
So if
you can't bring up lower people by bringing the top down.
How do we correct an educational issue where one child, their entire lives, are forced, based on no fault of their own, to receive a poorer quality education? How do we correct this, which is glaringly a systemic issue, because the system isn't correcting this to begin with? How do we correct this? When the poor kid goes to school that's funded through property tax, but because they live in an impoverished area, the property taxes are incredibly low, so their school is already not properly funded, so they go to a classroom with like 30 kids to one teacher, whereas the other kid who's born in an affluent neighborhood has crazy property taxes because they live in fucking McMansions. So they go to a classroom where they have 2 teachers for fucking 20 kids, a private tutor, before and after school care, a million tons of extracurricular activities. Which child is most likely to have better outcomes?
Well, it all depends. I mean, you see a lot of these rich kids that had everything at their fingertips, and then they just get into drugs and destroy their lives too. So, like, I don't think you said, yes, I will agree with you that the rich person typically is going to be better off. But it's not a guarantee. What is a guarantee? That if you work hard in school and actually educate yourself, even if your teachers aren't doing it, that's why the parent is the main educator in the house, because it doesn't matter if you have shit teachers. The parent can direct the education at home. Dude, you want to back on the property tax. Hey,
no thanks. No thanks. Just to before I end this part of the video, a student who's born to a lower income household is less likely to have somebody there to help educate them than a student who's born to an affluent household. Full stop. Thank you to the people that paid to boot that guest. Can we get some W's in the chat for our tippers? Like, I send my kid to a really fucking expensive daycare, so they will get a proper education. I spend a lot of fucking money on daycare, and daycare is expensive to begin with. W to Morgan, and also W to the Pope 33, and all of our other super chatters today. But do you notice the conversation always shifts? Like, we start the conversation off about, hey, did Kirk say violent things? Yep. Did he say wrong things? Yep. Was he inciting violent rhetoric? Yep. I proved that he did. And the conversation goes to something else. Instead of just saying, oh shit, I was wrong about that.
What's a town without no ducks donated $20. This is a tip not to kick, but to thank you for kicking him.
Thank you, friend. I just want someone to...
Yeah, sub on Twitch, nice.
I don't know, to do something. I keep forgetting you have a kid. Well, yeah, it's because I don't want to talk about them online. But occasionally I will. And you don't know, I could have 7 kids for all you care. All right, call line is open. I have Jaquavius, Jamarcus, Jabarius, Jaflantius, Jaflugius, Jamaxius. Humdungers, Ringdingers. It actually sounded like it's starting to go Dr. Seuss there. And all the Who's down in Whoville love Christmas a lot. Hello, are you here to debate?
No, I just wanted to say you're doing good shit, man. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Spencer's gifts from some fake dog dude. Have you played Balatro? No. More like Balat, no. No, I haven't. Ugh. All right. Well, we're gonna play. Hold on. Did I ever download it? Oh shit! I don't think I ever actually downloaded it. Oh shit! It's not on sale anymore. It's still $2. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna play. Oh my god! I just opened OBS for some reason. We're gonna play Democratic Socialism Simulator at the end of stream. Thought he was hitting that vape, Javon. No, it's just an Apple Pencil. Are you an Ashby fan? I don't know who that is. Don't ask me about internet stuff because I have no idea. Digimon or Pokemon? Homie, I'm Digimon. Pokemon games, Digimon anime all day. Anybody else want to debate? Feel free to call in. Don't be shy. What kind of music do I like? Musical theater. I listen to almost exclusively Broadway musicals. And in fact, I have listened to almost nothing but the Next to Normal West End cast album for the last 2 months. It's kind of all I've listened to. Is that autistic? Yeah, call now or the left wins, everybody. Oh, there's a Secret of the Mimic update. What's the update? No, it's just a patch. Boring. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Yes.
What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Gray is the color. 23, and he, him.
Okay, Gray, what are you calling in to debate about?
So, I've been listening to a lot of your debates. I want to immediately start off and say that I am pro-trans.
Okay.
And I like a lot of your arguments, but there's one of them that actually doesn't line up in my head.
Okay.
Which is the distinction between gender and sex as relating to it being a social feature of humanity. Because when we talk about male versus female, that's a thing that applies to basically any sexually dimorphic species. So then when we talk about man versus woman, those are human-specific identifiers for male or female humans, but not necessarily male or female humans. Like, in the argument, it is used as a identifier for gender. I agree with this, but also I am trying to steel man the opposing position in the idea that we also have species-specific identifiers for other different species.
Yeah, but we created those.
And right.
Yeah.
Like
So it's
hen
not
and
that
rooster.
it's not that those species created gender roles for themselves. We created the gender roles for them.
Okay.
That's why I say gender is like specific to humans. We don't really see other species engaging in gender the same way that we do. They definitely will engage in like sex distinctions because they just, they're creatures of instinct typically, but we don't see them engaging in gender distinctions in the same way that we as humans do. So that's why we say gender is like an exclusive category to humans. We don't even know that if we meet aliens, they're going to do the same thing too. Like we could meet an alien race that even has male and female, and they may not use gender in the same way that we do. Right? We just don't know.
Okay. So then I guess, again, like I said, I'm not really disagreeing with your position. I'm just, one of the logical lines doesn't align in that man and woman are necessarily related to social constructs rather than just another species-specific sex-identifying term.
Well, yeah, when we use the phrases like man and woman, right? When we use those specific phrases, we're not talking really about almost anything sexual in nature, right? We're going to be more talking about like some phenotypic trait that we can like visibly see. Like if I were to tell you, hey, just think of any woman, you don't immediately think of vaginas or chromosomes or any sexual feature. You think of like typically what happens is somebody will think of somebody with like longer hair, more feminine features, somebody who wears makeup, somebody who wears dresses. Like you default to the social distinctors more than you default to any sex distinguisher.
Okay. Yes, I got you. I'm sorry, I meant. Okay, no, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess in thinking about like, the long hair, softer jawline, like all of those are just, I guess in my brain, the same type of, I guess they're to a smaller extent, but the same type of generally biological sex defined, or not defined, but biological sex influenced like features of the dimorphic species of humans. I understand it's bimodal. It's not like there's no clear line.
I don't even know that I would. I mean, maybe, but like when we look at like more feminine features, more typical like softer skin, lighter features and whatnot, that's more a sign of like women wear makeup to create this feature within themselves, right? I would say like most of the time, like, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but most of the time, more people's faces are not as feminine as like makeup makes them out to be. right? And back in the day, it was men who used makeup and lightened their features and made their faces a bit more feminine.
I kind of just meant like shape generally, like, and also like muscularity, things like that, like, or sort of, they are trended based upon mostly puberty related development.
Yeah, I don't think it's off the rocker to say like, hey, we used to base our gender roles primarily on sexual differences, right? I'm just saying nowadays that's not how we engage with gender anymore, and hasn't been for a while.
Right, and I guess in that sense, it is not how I engage. I guess I'm like, I get stuck on details a lot, and I guess my real contention here was the logical link in there, even though I agreed with the conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I guess I don't have much else. I thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
You have a good day.
You too. I'm bored. I'm so bored. I need another crazy chat, dude. I need another give me another Kirk supporter. Give me something, I don't know. Ron, what would you consider a god? I don't know. Hello, are you here to debate?
Not as much debate, more just ask a question around your knowledge.
All right, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
Name is Tim, 32, he, him.
Okay, and what did you want to ask about?
Yeah, so around transgender people. So on board, like, gender is a construct. Understand that sex is more like biologically linked. But I wonder if, for me, I think where I get tripped up is when we call gender a social construct. We talk about kids knowing whether they're trans or cis at a very young age, and that to me would indicate that there is some genetic link there. Or is it purely like as kids are growing up, they start to see how we as a society differentiate between men's typical roles, women's typical roles, and they identify more with one or the other? And is that purely just like nurture, or is there some nature in there?
So it's both. Gender is like a neurosocial thing. So there is some evidence that hormone washes in utero can lead to you having a specific gender identity. There's not a whole lot, but there is some evidence there that we need to do more research on to figure it out. But it's not that kids know they're trans at a young age. They would just start to experience gender dysphoria. They may not even know what it is or why they're feeling this thing. They would just know that they are. So as you grow, your brain starts to develop a connection with gender based on a societal level. So you see and engage with gender in the way that people engage with men, the way that people engage with women, the way men and women both engage with each other, and the different attributes that they share. And your brain forms a connection between yourself and this. This is all like subconsciously. It will oftentimes look at your sex and go, this feels weird. Your body, something about this doesn't feel right. And then it'll see somebody engaging in the opposite sex and go, well, something about that feels right. Right. Or it'll just, or it might even not even get that far. And it'll just be, hey, this feels off. This feels wrong. This, you know, them learning that they're trans. Oh yeah, sure.
So when you say they look at their sex and see somebody else's sex, do you mean sex or do you mean gender expression?
I mean
because
sex.
I'm wondering.
I mean sex, and it's not even
so
consciously
someone's growing up.
It's their brain is
someone's growing up with parents who allow them to be more gender fluid. If there is a little like a child female who identifies more as a man, even if their parents allow them to be gender fluid, they still might experience gender dysphoria.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Because part of the gender dysphoria is that when we have a society where it is typical of women to be female, which ours is, it's typical that women are female, right? And you spend your whole life seeing people that are female engaging with, are people that are women engaging with that in a way that highlights them being a female or aspects of them being a female. Your brain is going to match this because your internal understanding of what it is to be a woman will be tied in with what it is to be a female. And it's hard to break away from that, even if you exist in like a family that doesn't tie those things together, just because the entirety of our society is sort of built around these things.
Gotcha. So even if within your household, you still see what's going on around you and it still happens.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, that was pretty much just the one question I had. I appreciate what you do, Jovan. It's good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. No problem.
Cool. All right. Take care.
All right. You too. Hello, are you here to debate?
Charlie Kirk, fuck yeah, here to save motherfucking day, yeah. Sorry, it's Piglet, I'm done, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry, I don't have my Vyvanse. Bye.
Okay, no problem, Piglet. Okay. Hello, are you here to debate?
Hi, yeah.
Okay, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Hannah, and I'm 23, and I go by she, they.
Okay, and what topic on the board did you want to debate about?
So I just had like a couple of questions. If this is not the right time to call about this, it's fine. But
It's fine.
I had a couple of questions about, just like about socialism and communism in general. I know that, you're, at least from last thing that I heard, a pretty strong proponent for communism. And I would consider myself like more so leaning towards socialism, but I don't know, I just had some like general questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So this topic comes up, just a tiny bit of background. I come from a very conservative Christian family, and they definitely don't agree with any of that. And their main points whenever I bring up like a better economic system is that the country is too big and that nobody would actually get on board. And just like those issues with the amount of people, I just wanted to see what your perspective was on those kinds of things.
I'm sorry. One more time. It was. Sorry, I dissociated a little bit there. One more time.
No, you're good. A main issue that comes up for people who are very strong, like capitalists, is that the system works because a lot of people exist in it, and to have a system where everybody is kind of like sharing in, certain commodities and whatnot, it's impractical for the amount of people that we have in the country. I don't necessarily believe that, but I don't know really how to combat those kinds of ideas. I just
I usually just say we're not in a post-scarce society yet. We're not in like in a scarcity-driven society yet. There is enough food, water, and so on and so forth on the planet for every single person that's on the planet right now. The other thing I would say to that is like the system doesn't work because there's a lot of people existing, and the system works. Capitalism works because it forces a lower class of people to support a higher class of people. Like money is not an infinite resource, right? Like there only exists a certain amount of money on the planet at any given time. So in order for some people to have that money and others not, they have to take that money from that other group. Like they just have to.
Mm-hmm.
So capitalism only works because we don't give everybody everything.
Right. And I definitely agree. I think like what a lot of people that I come in contact with, their issue with it is how large the like cities would be in order to partake in those kinds of like systems, where people would assume like, oh, there's too many people to get on board. We've already been trapped in this kind of system that we exist in already. And to upturn that would be like close to impossible. I think that's what their viewpoint is.
I think when people say that, they're being a little disingenuous, because it's like, yeah, it might be hard, but like, so we should just keep suffering through what we have now because it might be hard to do something better. That just seems, I feel like they wouldn't, like, should we have kept sleeping in caves because it would have been hard it's hard for us to build houses? No, right? They wouldn't take this in like any other instance.
Yeah, I don't know. That makes sense. Okay. Well, that's basically everything that I wanted to talk about, but I appreciate everything you do. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. I don't know why that conversation slightly poked me back up. By the way, I know somebody said, when is Arden going to come back on the stream? I don't know when I'm going to get Arden back on, but Forrest will be on Friday. So if you're interested to talk to me and an actual biologist about, gender, sex, evolution, religion, Forrest will be here on Friday. Also, probably no stream tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to take the day off. Hello, are you here to debate?
Kind of. I had some questions about a debate that I was having with someone else, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. It is on the board.
Okay, can I just get your name, age, pronouns?
Alan, 23, he, him.
Okay, Alan, what were your questions?
So I was having a debate with a peer of mine about the hypocrisy with like Charlie Kirk's death and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And because I mean, obviously I kind of agree more with you on this. But my friend brought up the perspective that on the left, their claim was that the left brings up violence on like a personal level, but the right brings up violence on like a group level as like like a non-intentional violence, but the violence is a byproduct of just policy. So like they brought up immigration. Its violence is in the removal process, but the violence is not like personal, I guess, is kind of how they explained it. I was curious what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I mean, the right walked to the Capitol and chanted "Hang Mike Pence." That seems pretty personal, you know?
Yeah, no, again, I totally agree. I didn't really know how to respond.
I would say, I mean, first of all, I would say, even if that's true, I would take personal hatred over group hatred any day of the week, right? I would rather someone just hate me because I'm Jovan and they don't like things about me as a person than they hate me because I'm black and they implement policies that directly harm me and all black people.
Yeah, again, I'm totally with you, and I definitely am in agreement. I was just I didn't really know how to respond to my friend in this, because they were their perspective off of what I was getting from them is not so much of like they don't have the perspective that people target like black people because they're black. Like obviously that does happen. Like the KKK exists and neo-Nazis are out there, but like their perspective is more along the lines of like if a policy is put in place to, I don't know, that would disproportionately affect the economic standings of black people over white people, like their perspective is that the violence is not intentional towards black people, it's just kind of happenstantial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would disagree with this wholeheartedly. I think the violence is like directly towards them. I don't think it's happenstantial at all. I mean, I would just say, look at what the Southern strategy is, you know? Have them look at the Southern strategy and tell me that it's not like directly towards them.
I'm not super familiar with that. Can you give me like a quick summary of what that is?
The Southern strategy was basically how Republicans have operated since Reagan and Nixon. It's basically been, we're going to implement policies that harm black people without us directly saying that they're going to harm black people. We're just going to focus on things that affect disparities so that black people get hurt more than white people. Specifically, look up like Lee Atwater. He was a major Southern strategist who was like instrumental in like the Nixon campaign. And he all but says it. He says the goal of the Southern strategy was to implement policies that people wouldn't be able to figure out were hurting black people by addressing disparities. And Republicans have been operating this way like ever since.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Thank you so much on that. I was just kind of wanted to get some other perspectives because it kind of caught me off guard. Because
Yeah,
I'm
no
like,
problem.
from my perspective, I'm like, I obviously see stuff like you know, when the right is talking, like you have people talking about, I don't remember who it was, posted something on Twitter like, we're going to put all 68 million people in alligator Alcatraz. I'm like, this is obviously very violent, you know, and it's obvious that it's just targeted based off of immigration status, because if your claim is that there's only 20 million illegal immigrants, but you're talking about putting 68 million people there, there's obviously like a disparity in that you're talking about all immigrants and not just illegal immigrants, which is like a whole nother bag of worms I know that I don't really want to get into, because I'm of the perspective that, like, you know, I think people should just be able to come here. If you want to come here and be a productive person in society, you should just be able to come over, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, well, it was great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good one.
Yep, you too. Bye-bye.
Okay. There are 849 of you watching on YouTube. Okay? There's 351 of you on Twitch. We should be able to get half of you guys watching on YouTube over to Twitch. Let's get the Twitch stream up to 600 viewers. Can we do that, chat? Do y'all think you could do that? Should be easy. Should be easy. And when we come over there, we're going to go play Democratic Socialist Simulator.
Thank you, Boo.
So we are going to cut off debates there. I won't be back tomorrow for debates, but you'll see me Thursday. We're going to go play Democratic Socialism Simulator. And if you don't want to come see that, then, you know, I guess I'll see you on Thursday. Because that's what we're going to go do. Okay, love you, mean it, bye, love you long time.
Thank you, Boo. Thank you, Boo.